what everyone else has been doing. I love seeing what the other vendors are making. I really have a fun time at those. It's it's a lot of work to do the setup and the breakdown, and to be customer face all day. It's draining, but in a good way. I have a lot of fun. I'm really looking forward to the market season again this year. They're a pain in the ass, but they tend to pick their battles. Oh, small time crochet business isn't going to be much of a fuss. Not like working with another film company or a toy company. True. I know a couple of people who make licensed Disney stuff. Oh, okay. I'd never heard of anyone else who did licensed Disney stuff. The only like Disney stuff I've ever heard of, usually I agree, they don't go after small beans, like little people here and there. I do know they were cracking down on Etsy a few years ago, and even stuff that it seemed like a bit of an overreach. The poisoned apples, I have them over there. I don't want to get up again. But there were a bunch of crocheted poison apples, and they looked like the poisoned apple from Snow White, with kind of like the skull face on the apple. You've probably seen them around, if not made them yourself. I forget what people had to call them, but they originally were calling them poisoned apples or something like that, and Disney would not let them call them poison apples, and that seemed really weird. You have to be careful if you're making Baby Yoda and you're putting him on Etsy. I think you call him Baby Alien or Baby Goblin. I think I've seen people say Baby Goblin, or the child, but you can't use like the official names. There's a bunch of other ones where they have to find like a different way to describe the thing so that you know what they're talking about, but it doesn't come up in a keyword search that Disney would pay attention to. Disney gets weird. Sometimes depends on who is in charge. There's also the fact that they can't copyright poisoned apple. Yeah, I don't remember how that ended up, but I know that it was a huge deal, that people were really like, really, I can't call it poisoned apple, and I I don't know. I don't know if anyone fought back and proved that they could call it that, but last I heard, you were not allowed to call it a poisoned apple. You had to, I forget what term they made. They made some other term that they had to use so it wouldn't get found in the keyword searches. It was fun. Makers and Crafters Society. Mama Jules, that you? I know there's other people who run it too. Kai Floof and two or three other people. I don't have names in my head, I'm sorry. The time they did, they tried to copyright Dia de los Muertos. I guess Disney is like, that search is for us to get sales, not you. Probably. But yeah, Poisoned Apple was weird. Dia de los Muertos. Like, how can you copyright that? Good. They should be shut down hard. That's insane. Who's the other one? Not Disney, but Mariah Carey. Was it her who was trying to trademark Queen of Christmas or something? It was like, wasn't it Queen of Christmas? It was something like that, and she wanted to trademark for, I am the Queen of Christmas. No one else can be the Queen of Christmas. Like, really? What? I think that was just, I don't know if it was last year or the year before, but I remember hearing about it and being like, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? When Kylie Jenner tried to trademark Kylie, right? Because you are clearly the only Kylie, right? Corn, I think a lot of folks just try throwing trademarks out without thinking. Yeah, nope, I agree. Or, try it out, see if you can get it. If you can't, oh well. But it's just insane to me. There's a more famous Kylie already out there. I don't know famous people. Kylie. I can't think of another Kylie. I think Kylie Minogue? Minogue? I don't know who that is. I've never heard that name before. I thought for sure you'd say like, oh no, Kylie so-and-so, and I'd be like, oh yeah, Kylie so-and-so. I don't know that name at all. Who is it? I never know names though. I never know names. A singer, okay. I especially don't know singer names. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You're useless at names, only faces. Faces will look familiar to me, but like I wouldn't say I officially have a version of face blindness, but I have a really hard time with faces. Like a really hard time with faces. I'm good with like normal people names. I'm not good with celebrity names. But yeah, I have a hard time with faces, and I have a really hard time when a movie casts several people who look similar. I will not know who. Like, I was watching Pacific Rim, and I would swear to you there were three of the same person in there, and it was like the main guy. Who I can't remember. It was like the main guy, the Australian guy, and the Australian guy's son. It was like those three guys, and they were all together in a scene, and I was so confused. I was so confused. I was like, what? Why is he there three times? I don't know. But I don't claim full responsibility on that because I do think that there is a specific type that they cast for movies, and so I think a lot of the actresses and actors really look similar. But yeah. And I love Pacific Rim. I need to watch it again because it's fun. It's good, like Gundam punching fun. Like, you do have mild face blindness. Like, I will reference face blindness, and it's got to be something tied in with that. Especially if I see someone who I've met before, but it's way out of context. Like, yeah, I'm useless at that for sure. Kylie Minogue, I don't know how to say the name, is an Australian actress and musical artist, and she is massive in the UK. They do look the same. Yeah, the three guys, the like Australian dude's son, and main guy. Was that Chris Pine? Who was it? I don't even remember. I haven't seen it in forever. Anyway, they were all like generic blonde guys with the same generic blonde haircut. And as far as I'm concerned, they were the same character. That is how you pronounce it. Okay. You have the same problem. For some reason in Hollywood, they cast the same white guy. Like, they use the same face and body. Exactly, yes. Yes, I think it is a casting type. So I know I do have a problem with faces and stuff, but I don't think it's all on me when I can't recognize actresses and actors, because I think they really they do go for a type. Um, yeah, a lot of times instead of looking at faces, I have to look at hair and I have to look at clothes. And like if we're out in the real world, not watching a movie, I have to watch like how they walk, like body mannerisms and stuff. And that's a better way for me to tell who I'm looking at, honestly. They use same face and body type. The only thing that changes is the hair and the eye color. And what good is that when it's dark night? Yes, yes. The movies are always so dark. I have no clue what's happening. Your problem, it's the same on Twitch. It takes you months to associate name to face, and screw me over if you change your glasses, dye your hair, or change your username. What about voices? Voices will like trigger this like I know it thing in me. So I'll hear a voice, and or sometimes like I'll see the shape of a person's lips. Like who was it? Oh, my husband had me watching Reacher on Amazon, and I only saw like the first 15 minutes of it or so. And I need to go back and watch more because I'm interested. Anyway, the guy who was sitting at the table talking with Reacher when they pulled him into the police station, um, his voice sounded a little familiar, but there was something about like the shape of his lips when he spoke. And I'm like, I know I've seen this guy before. And it turns out he was in iZombie, which I've seen. So I have to do things like that. But voices will trigger a, like, I know it. and I don't know where I know it from, and I always have to look it up on IMDb. So like I can't hear a voice and go, "Yep, that was so and so, and he was in what and what," and problem solved. I go, I know that voice, and I mull over it for a million years, and either I come up with a little sound clip in my mind that I can identify, or I have to go to IMDb and look it up. You associate Pacific Rim with Kingsman because they were both your favorites around the same time. I liked Kingsman. That was fun. You struggle to differentiate voices unless it's very distinct. Accents help, but it can make it worse if there's more than one person speaking the same accent. I get into I'll be watching a movie and her accent won't register at first. Like I'll be a ways into the movie and I realize I'm like, oh, they've been speaking with like this accent this whole time. And it won't immediately register. I don't know what that's about. Like I'll understand them and everything. It hits me like halfway through. I'm like, oh, like they're speaking in this accent. Shafiq, you're going to lurk and do AFK stuff for a bit. All right. Well, thank you for coming in and hanging out. Actually, I probably should be finishing pretty soon. It is almost noon here. I need to get food, and I should do house things before my daughter comes home from school. Catch you in a wee bit. All right. I might be gone. I probably should leave pretty soon. Otherwise, I'm going to lose my whole day. But I will be back on Monday if you're still around and not AFK. But I usually stream on Mondays and Fridays. I live in New Hampshire in the US, so I stream Eastern Standard Time from 8:30 a.m. until about 11:30 a.m. And I'm almost at noon right now. Time to do some adulting. Boo. Maybe next time. Need to get bread. All right. Yeah, I need to get food. So, good luck getting the bread. 3. I think on Monday we're going to do the leggy frog pattern. Bomber Crafts, who is another really awesome streamer. Which... Actually, let me open up a thing and see if it's Bomber Craft or Crafts with an S. Okay. Bomber Crafts with an S. There we go. Bomber Crafts is the streamer who designed the leggy frog pattern, and really cute. I think that's what we're going to do on Monday. Hey, River! Super late. Yeah, actually, I'm surprised I'm still on.